Richard O Sullivan was born on the 7th of May 1944 in Chiswick, West London. His early education was at the St John's the Evangelist School in Brentford. He would also go on to attend the Corona Academy.
A little Saturday morning school just off Turnham Green, and where the parents sent their kids really to get out of their way while they could do their Saturday shopping. And it eventually became a school called Corona Academy. And I sort of fell into it, as it were.
After just a few lessons, I was impressed with his poise and confidence, and I thought, even though he was so young, I felt he had all the qualities to make a good actor.
Richard's first film appearance was in 1952, in The Yellow Balloon. In 1953, he appeared in The Malta Story.
Come in. No, I myself am not hungry. It is absurd to say always you are not hungry. You will eat yours or I shall be very cross. And you are not to give it to the little pig who is already fat.
Richard's next film was The Stranger's Hand, opposite Trevor Howard.
Daddy.
And I remember there was about 300 other kids, and it was whittled down to 2 guys.
So why did I choose? Because among all the children I've seen, it was the only one that gave me, it was safe, because he was small, he was a professional actor, a small, accomplished little comedian. He was perfect.
In the next couple of years, Richard would make numerous films and TV appearances.
Now we shall learn the prayer.
I know it. Our Father who art in heaven. What Father, Mother? And why is he in heaven?
It seems that she had an accident in the dark, on the cliff.
You mean she fell over?
We are terribly sorry, John.
But we know you're going to be very brave about this.
Nick.
It's all right. Go ahead and cry.
When was the last time you saw your father?
Over 3 weeks ago. That's why I'm so worried. Usually he'd be gone for a day or 2. Mr. Holmes, I'll give odds he's in some sort of trouble. And I bet Jack Driscoll is behind it all.
Jack Driscoll.
I suppose you've been waiting for this to happen. Of course, you couldn't have warned me. Much too interesting.
Wasn't that interesting?
True.
I said to him, you've got to start the game in something difficult, something like Shakespeare.
In 1956, at the age of 12, Richard was invited to join the Shakespeare Memorial Company.
But he knew all the lines long before everybody else, and we all loved him, he really did.
In the same year, he would also star with John Mills in the film It's Great to Be Young.
From now on, Lawson, you're an indispensable part of the orchestra. Where on earth did you learn to play like that, eh?
My father, sir. He's in the London Philharmonic, sir.
The London Philharmonic.
Between 1957 and 1961, Richard was an in-demand child actor, and he would make many more film and TV appearances.
You think I'd be taken in by you?
The young ones, darling, we're the young ones, and the young ones shouldn't be afraid to live low while the flame is strong, 'cause we may not be the young ones very long. Tomorrow, why wait until tomorrow? 'Cause tomorrow sometimes never comes. So love me, there's a song to be sung, and the best time is to sing it.
Some girls and some guys with stars in their eyes, a spirit of get up and go.
Plug in the amplifiers, Edward.
Edward?
Yeah?
Are you sure you're not overloading that a bit?
My dear Gerald, by the simple application of Ohm's law and taking into account the amperage of the ship's generator, it is quite clear, even to the most elementary student of electronics, that there is absolutely no chance of overloading the ship's circuit.
I feel really glad that you were in my films because I feel they were steps up for me, and I felt really that I've been stepping on your back too. I mean, you really gave me a tremendous lurch forward in my career.
I can think of nothing better than dancing on the beach. See a girl, you can go and get her, your troubles will be out of reach. On the beach.
In 1963, Richard would star alongside Elizabeth Taylor in the film Cleopatra.
It was terrific. I was out there 3 months and I hadn't even been to the studios yet. And I rang up and I said, anything going on? Would there be a chance that maybe I could pop home? And they said, yeah, sure, Richard, just tell us where we are, you know, like that. So I used to come back every weekend, fly back, go to Chelsea, if they were at home, and then on Sunday, play charity football, and then go back to Rome. And I did that for 8 months. It was wonderful.
By now, Richard was into adulthood, and the transition wasn't plain sailing. The next few years, he would become a jobbing actor, having a smaller role for different productions.
Because you know what I'm going to do, don't you, Duffy? I'm going to fill you in, baby. You've been begging for this, Duffy.
A very intelligent man, Aldo. Do not let him out of your sight. Oh, not again, Madge. The mafia get hold of him? Lemon squash. They don't feed them back here.
By the early 1970s, Richard's film and TV work would dry up.
Now, Richard, suddenly your career reaches a difficult stage. The boy actor grows up and the telephone stops ringing. Now, Jackie, that wasn't an easy time for Richard.
A very difficult time. He was very disillusioned. He was very seriously thinking of immigrating to Australia.
What was it like, suddenly to be out of work?
Well, it wasn't very nice, actually. Well, it wasn't very nice.
In early 1971, Richard would marry Diana Terry, but they would divorce by the end of the year. He would also join the cast of Doctor at Large and Doctor in Charge.
And this is Bingham. Well, I think that concludes the first part of my...
In the next few years, Richard would also star alongside some of Britain's finest character actors.
I really want to see you. Really want to be with you. Really want to see you.
Between 1973 to 1976, Richard would star in the sitcom Man About the House.
Man About the House came from small ads in the local evening London paper, and we noticed there were more and more ads appearing for flat sharers of either sex, so girls were sharing with guys, and we thought there was potential here, certainly for a sexual tension in comedy.
I think one of the reasons that it was popular was firstly because it was a little risque at the time, but also you were never quite sure whether Richard was going to get lucky.
In December 1974, Richard was the subject of This Is Your Life.
Right, I'll go in, Peter. Okay. Right, stand by for rehearsal, please.
Oh, yes. Not quite the concert you expected, but I hope you'll enjoy it twice as much, because star of that Man About the House, Richard O Sullivan, This Is Your Life.
Richard was also in a relationship with co-star Sally Tomsett. The relationship would last for 3 years. In 1975, Richard and some of the cast of Man About the House would do a UK tour in the play Bowen Bowen, breaking box office records. In 1977, he would also tour the play in Australia. Between 1977 and 1981, Richard would star in the Man About the House spin-off, Robin's Nest.
It could easily roll off the road.
Oh, no, it can't do that. I've got this under the wheel. You see, this is from truck.
Playing a couple in the series, Richard and Tessa were a couple in real life, having one son, Jamie, in 1980, before splitting in 1985. To tie in with the success of Robin's Nest, in 1980, Richard wrote a recipe book called A Man About the Kitchen. He would also appear in numerous TV adverts.
Even if you lose a salad.
Heinz mayonnaise. It brings out the best in the best of salads.
Will you say something, Geoffrey?
I see those girls kicked you out the flat then.
Look out for Look-In every week.
You charmer. How'd you do it? Apart from my magnetic personality, I think it was the suit that got her going. Now, I'm not sure whether it was the lapels, the very fitted jacket, or the flare trousers, really. Now, if it's a stroll by the river in the morning, it could very well be the car-down blazer. With, of course, the off-white raincoat in case of emergency. Or if it's back to lunch with her mummy and daddy, it's all down to the safari suit with a sexy collar. Of course, she thinks I'm loaded. Me, loaded. She doesn't know yet that I go to John Temple and get up to 2 years to pay. Around the same price weekly as 3 or 4 pints. Sandra, darling, be ready for me.
When you're turning at a road junction, look out for pedestrians.
James Stewart looks back on 40 years of Hollywood, and Richard O Sullivan hosts the TV Times Top 10 Awards. Details of all next week's ITV programmes are in TV Times.
Tell them to drop their shooters, Spiker. Tell them. Otherwise I'll carve my name on your Adam's apple.
Between 1979 to 1982, Richard would star in the drama Dick Turpin. Between 1984 to 1988, he would also appear in the sitcom Me and My Girl.
Sometimes it seems I shout her dreams with some careless word, a foolish lie. Me
In 1987, Richard would marry Christine Smart, and a year later, he appeared in a one-off comedy drama, The Giftie.
I don't understand this. I don't understand this.
Neither do I, Paul. Neither do I. Oh, I love you.
In 1991, Richard would star in another sitcom, Trouble in Mind.
Where do you think you're going?
I think in your general direction, actually.
Why?
Throughout Richard's career, he was an extremely private person, and he would go to great lengths to protect his privacy. He also had an easygoing nature, and he disliked confrontation, and his divorce in 1994 would be an extremely painful time for him. In 1996, he would star in his last film, and he would only make the rare TV and public appearance.
Do you know, Mick, the day your father died, I stood on this tee and I hit the greatest shot of my life. The ball simply sailed right over the leg as if it didn't exist.
You weren't allowed to say in the 70s, now you can say.
In 2003, Richard suffered a severe stroke from which he would never fully recover, and he chose to go into the Brinsworth House for retired entertainment actors. This is a summary of Richard's life and his gifted talents. A life well filled, and one of Britain's most talented and underrated actors.